Alright, in this video we are going to look at the Portuguese Steyr Kropatschek 1886 Mosqueton this time. Like I said in the original video with the rifle, there's 4 variations of this weapon system. Okay, you have the long rifle like I had, a long rifle with a modification of a wooden handguard, which would be a colonial thing. Short rifle, which I've never really seen one of them, and lastly this what they call the Mosqueton. Now the Mosqueton also is the only one with a bent down bolt handle, okay, and it's just a short little carbine version of the rifle. You know, here we got the same trigger guard. The stock on this one's pretty rough. As you can tell, this gun was used quite a bit. These, stock markings are somewhat present. The one main difference is the bent bolt handle, same style bolt, the Mauser safety, and all that other stuff. The sight, the rear sight is pretty different. Okay. Now I knew there was a black powder sight, but most of them, for the black powder cartridge, and the sights were improved. And we've seen the sights on the other rifle, but this is obviously a lot different there. On this, you got one barrel band and then this nose cap apparatus here. And the parts on this gun don't match. The stock and this forward band here, the screws are a little beat up, and yes, it does look, it does have a bayonet lug. I'm not going to put the bayonet on this because when I tried, I believe it'll fit, but it kind of got stuck and I had to tap it off, so I'm not going to do it. And it has the magazine, which probably is a 5-rounder or something like that. Yeah, you don't see these quite often. Serial number is there, and on the barrel, there on this side. Okay, and up top, we have one marking on top of the barrel. Take a look at it from above here. And a little offset, the front sight's offset a little. However the hell they did that. Don't really know why. So let's look at it from the other side. Alright, and as you can see, the receiver markings are about the same. And this one's had a little bit more use than the other one. They must have really liked these little short guns and used them. You see it's been knocked around quite a bit. Here's a look at the sight from the other side. And we have, again, our cleaning rod mounted off to the side here with this. And other than having the bent bolt handle, this gun operates exactly the same as the rifle. So now we'll put them side by side to take a comparison of them. Okay, putting the Mosqueton together side by side with the standard long rifle. The length of pull might be a tad bit shorter, but you see the obvious difference here between the bolt, and the Mosqueton is the only one with a bent bolt handle out of the 4 variations. And the sight here is different. As we see, one barrel band where the rifle has a second barrel band, and the bayonet lug and end band there. So considerably shorter. It is a handy little weapon, considerably shorter than the rifle. And this one, like I said, has seen a lot more use than the rifle. And there's still some rifling in there. The bore isn't as neat and clean as the long rifle. I think it's quite worn. It's been shot a lot, so Again, we're going to have to try to tweak a cast bullet to a little bit larger diameter to get in there and get it to work. Now let's take a look at the cartridges. I found some brass that I had, so we'll get an idea of what they look like. Okay, we're going to look at some of my attempts to make the cartridge. Here's the 8x60 length cartridge, and you see it's the 8x56. There's a slight difference in the length, and in reality, using smokeless powder, you really don't need the long case. This I got from Buffalo Arms. Now, I went and got a bullet to try to mimic the torpedo bullet, and what I did is I had them do a custom job for me, and it's about a 250, 260 grain cast bullet, and as you see seated in that cartridge, it fits rather well. Okay, and this is where I got to tell you guys, now is the time, get a membership, because the amount of money I spent, I thought this bullet wouldn't work, and I'll explain it here in a minute. I thought I made a $190 mistake. I put a lot of time and money into this, so when I get into the reloading things, unfortunately I'm going to have to ask you for that information and a detailed info to become a member. It's $3 a month, and it's well worth it, to figure this stuff out. So what happened was with the bullet, this will work in an 1888 Steyr straight pull because the throat is wide enough to accept it, but it will not work in any other 8x50 gun, and I even tried it in the rifle, and I'll demonstrate that right here. Alright, we'll demonstrate this with the long rifle. What I was trying to do is I got a base wide enough to engage the rifling and make a perfect seal, and this body was a certain diameter that it would just barely fit down the bore. So we'll do the bullet test with it. And as you see that tapered bullet, my problem is this won't seat in this area in the throat. It's the diameter's too big. But it does work in a Steyr 1888 straight pull, and that was about it. It doesn't work in the 95 rifle. They have, different type of chamber. But the carbine here, the bore shot out. There is rifling visible, but when I slugged the barrel, this bore is shot out. This gun got a lot of use. So let's see what this does. It goes right up to the neck of the case. Okay? But if we just take the plain bullet with a wider base diameter, you'll see that it will engage the rifling, even though it's worn out. So now I have a use for this bullet, and I'll set it up and I'll show you how they won't chamber in this one, but will in this one. So I hope this helps you out. And this is a dummy. This is on a fired case. Okay, so this is a dummy round. There's no powder in here. To load this, you would just put the cartridge down in there, stick it up till you hear the click. Then when you close the bolt, okay, when you open it, alright, so we close the bolt, open the bolt up, and then that would be where your cartridge would come up. So now we cycle, fire the gun. I guess you heard the little click. And then when we open her up, the cartridge is down in there, and then up it goes. Now, this bullet will not allow the bolt to close. Okay, it's not chambering. So let's do the same thing with our little Mosqueton. So now we have our Mosqueton. And again, take the cartridge and slide it up till it locks in there. So we would, I guess you could drop another one down in there too. And then we come back, up. I think you heard it that time, shell flies out. It's down in there, give it a tug. And this one, surprisingly, closes on that bullet. That bullet will not close on the M95 8x50s and the other one of these Kropatschek rifles. And the reason it works in this, I thought I wasted my money. This is so shot out, the bore. The bore is so shot out that this bullet fits in there. And I may be able to use it to get some accuracy. Alright, let me do a close on this. Okay, when it comes to this bullet and the ammunition I was making, somebody must have had this bullet drawn up to shoot an 1888 rifle because it will fit in there. I believe the diameter on the base I have is 335 is what I got them at. And the reason I kind of did that, I went oversized with them, is when you check and slug the barrels on any of the older M95 rifles, be it in 8x56 or 8x50, because of the way they cut them in the fulminated mercury in the old ammo, they come out to about 332, not so much 329 like the spec. So 335, it's a little overboard, but in this gun it might be the saving grace. So I'm going to go and get another bullet mold, and what the problem lies in is with the torpedo bullet. You try to get that upper part here. This is tapered. This is designed with a taper, and that's why it will not chamber all the way. The taper is slightly off. It'd have to be reduced by, 5 thousandths or so. But I believe, 320. I believe there's another bullet I can get to work, and then I'll be able to produce loads for the 8x50 M95s and that. But I thought that I wasted my money. It was like $180 for the bullet mold. I got a 4-cavity one. But now I got a couple 2 guns that this will work in. Okay, out of 5. Alright. And like I said, it'd be a good idea to get a membership, because I will start probably once the weather gets better. It's still a little cold today. But any information and details that I do on making these are going to be just for members only. Now, I don't like doing that, but for $3 a month to support the channel, it cost me, over $1,000 to get to this point. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Okay, the dies I have dies. It took me a long time to find the dies in stock for the 8x56, and I got them from CH4D, but they cost $250 there. Then the bullet mold itself is $180, $190. Then it's wrong. So what do? Can't send it back. The guy made it to my specifications. So it adds up. And the brass and forming the brass, this has to be machined on my lathe. There's a lot of work into this, and the brass itself, 348 Winchester, that's getting upwards $2 a case, if you can find it now in the crisis. So there's a lot of time, money, research, and I just don't have, a lot of people say, oh, well, I seen this gun. Give me the information now. Give me this right now. Well, I do this as a hobby, okay? And when I run into a rough spot, or I can't find components, or I can't find the correct dies or tools. Some of them, like expanding plugs, I make them myself. And it's just, you know, I've had this rifle for quite a few years, this little Mosqueton. And I had the other one, the long rifle too, and I just never got around to making ammo for it. You know, I did about 4 or 5 years ago start doing all this stuff, and then I ran into some snags and things in life. Just, you know, I had to deal with them. Okay, other than worrying about getting cartridges to fire in these old guns. But I may start working on these this summer here, so we may see this go out. This sooner than ever, because I have the bullets. I just got to get that brass resized and cleaned up, and I can go out and run some test rounds in this. But I have to have that other mold made up too. I may take some measurements and maybe order that in the next few days. And that takes 4 or 5 weeks to get custom mold sent to you. So that's where we stand. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos on these guns. They're, you know, quite interesting. Like I said, even though this one's been used to hell and back, it's still a well-made weapon that even after a lot of years of use and abuse, we may be able to get out and hit something with this. All right? So hit the like button, subscribe, think about becoming a member, and stay tuned.